There are quite a number of different playable races in Baldur's Gate 3, but one of the biggest questions is which one should you play? Well, you already probably know which class to play, but which race is the best fit for that? No worries my friend, because in this video I'm going to help you pick the race that suits you best. And hey, if you like watching my videos, please consider subscribing because it helps my channel out a lot. Okay, so first things first. If you don't care about min-maxing, you can just pick the race you like the most. Because each race can become every class. So the tips I give in this video are only if you want to gain bonuses for a certain class. Now let's first start with the human. This one is the easiest choice of this list because humans gain bonuses in each ability score, making them viable for every class. While humans are versatile, they lack other features such as dark vision, so they have disadvantage on attack rolls while fighting in dim or dark areas. So I would suggest picking humans if you just like humans, or don't like the other races for a certain class. Now let's go with the elves, one of the most popular races in D&D. Most elves are beautiful and can live to be 750 years old. Compared to humans, elves gain significant traits over humans, like a +2 bonus to dexterity. This makes most elves an easy pick for classes that need dexterity, like the ranger and rogue for example. Elves also have a great eyesight, because they gain proficiency in perception and also have dark vision. They also gain proficiency in certain weapons if your class didn't do so already, and it's for the following weapons: long swords, short swords, longbows and shortbows. They also have a trait called Fey Ancestry, giving advantage on saving throws against being charmed, and magic can't put them to sleep. The elves have 3 different subraces: High Elves, Wood Elves and Drow, which are Dark Elves. But in Baldur's Gate 3, Drow counts as a separate race, so I'll cover them right after the other subraces. The first one is the High Elf. They get a +1 bonus to intelligence and can choose an extra wizard cantrip, making them perfectly viable for wizards. The other subrace is the Wood Elf. They gain a +1 bonus to their wisdom score, gain extra movement speed and have advantage on stealth checks. Wisdom is a great bonus for rangers, clerics and druids. Then the other subrace which became a full race in Baldur's Gate 3 are the Drow. This is probably because the Drow are split up between 2 subraces as well. The Drow are dark elves and most live in the Underdark, an area you can even visit in early access. And just like elves, they gain a +2 bonus to dexterity but also a +1 in charisma. They also gain proficiency in rapiers, short swords and hand crossbows. What's cool about the Drow is that they get superior dark vision, which is twice as strong as a normal dark vision. They also receive different spells as they level up. The spells are Dancing Lights to create light, Fairy Fire to gain advantage on enemies in an area, and the Darkness spell. As the name suggests, you cover an area in total darkness, blinding creatures in the said area. Their bonus to dexterity makes them great rogues and rangers, and their bonus in charisma is great for warlocks, sorcerers or bards. The Drow are split up in 2 different subraces, but they don't gain any difference in their bonuses. This is more focused on the roleplaying aspect. The Lolth-Sworn Drow follow the evil goddess called Lolth, and the Seldarine Drow are non-evil Drow who mostly live on the surface. To see the difference between the two, Lolth-Sworn Drow have red eyes and Seldarine Drows don't. They have eye colors like white or pink purple. Let's take a break from the elves, because now it's time for the Dwarf race. Dwarves gain a +2 bonus to constitution, which is basically good for every class because you'll be extra tanky this way. The other bonuses are from the subraces, so we'll get there later. All dwarves also have dark vision and gain proficiency in battle axes, hand axes, light hammers and warhammers. They have 2 different subraces called the Gold Dwarf and the Shield Dwarf in Baldur's Gate 3. Gold Dwarves gain a +1 bonus to Wisdom, which is great for clerics and druids. They also get a feature called Dwarven Toughness, increasing their maximum HP by 1 for every level, so that makes them extra tanky. The other subrace is the Shield Dwarf. Shield Dwarves have a +2 bonus in Strength, which is great for fighters and barbarians. The only trade-off is that all dwarves have slightly less movement speed. The other races that have this are the Gnome and Halfling, but we'll get there later. Because now it's time for the Thiefling, the infernal devil-like looking race. Tieflings also benefit from dark vision. Jesus, there are a lot of races with dark vision. They also gain a +2 bonus to charisma, which makes them perfect for warlocks, sorcerers or bards. They also gain a cool bonus called Hellish Resistance, which gives you resistance to fire damage only taking half its damage. Their subraces offer unique bonuses as well. The first one is called the Asmodeus Tiefling, if I called it correctly. They gain a +1 bonus to intelligence and the Thaumaturgy cantrip. Using that cantrip gives you advantage on intimidation and performance checks, which is very helpful during dialogue. And their +1 bonus to intelligence makes them viable for wizards as well. The second subrace is called the I'm not going to pronounce that. Okay, wait, let me try. Mephistopheles Tiefling? Yeah, whatever. Anyway, they also gain a +1 bonus to their intelligence, a mage hand cantrip that can interact with objects, and their burning hand spell at level 3 once per long rest. And again, their bonus to intelligence makes them viable for wizards. The last subrace is called the Zariel Tiefling and gain a +1 bonus to strength. This makes them viable for fighters and barbarians, and they also get the thaumaturgy cantrip. The Zariel Tiefling also get the jump spell at level 3 once per long rest, which lets you jump insane distances. Now let's cover the Githyanki, the dragon riding race who are at war with the Mind Flayers. They are certainly an interesting and strong race, and the only race who is not in the core rules of the source material of D&D. But this still makes sense because of the Mind Flayer based story. Githyanki have to be involved since they see total destruction of the Mind Flayers. Anyway, they gain a +2 bonus to strength and a +1 bonus to intelligence. This immediately makes them strong fighters, barbarian and wizards. However, Githyanki gain strong bonuses that makes them kinda viable for almost every class. That is because they gain proficiency in light and medium armors on the get-go. This means you can be a wizard or warlock with medium armor, which is very cool. And they certainly love swords as well, since they also gain proficiency in short swords, long swords and great swords. Githyanki also get the mage hand cantrip right from the get-go and a jump spell at level 3. The Githyanki race doesn't have any sub-races, so no worries about which one to choose. Oh, and they also don't have dark vision, by the way. Okay, and now it's time for the other race that is viable for almost every class, the Half-Elves. The combination of the best qualities between humans and, well, elves of course. They gain a +2 bonus to charisma, which makes them very strong warlocks, sorcerers and bards. But the reason why they are perfectly viable for every class is because you get to choose 2 different ability scores to improve with a +1. So if you want to go with a barbarian, you can choose both strength and constitution. Want to make a druid, pick wisdom and dexterity for example. They also have the Fey ancestry trait just like elves, gaining advantage on saving throws against charms and magic can put them to sleep. And of course they also have dark vision. The Half-Elves also have 3 different subraces, basically the same one as elves, and they also benefit the same traits. The High Half-Elf gets an extra wizard cantrip, the Wood Half-Elf have extra movement speed and gain proficiency in stealth. And then we have the Drow Half-Elf. This isn't listed as a separate race as a normal Drow, and instead remains a subrace for Half-Elves. And the Drow Half-Elf gain the Dancing Light cantrip that eliminate an area of your choosing. Now let's cover our little friends, and we'll first start with the Gnomes. Gnomes have a lot of energy and are filled with enthusiasm. They are also very smart, gaining a +2 bonus to their intelligence. This makes them very strong wizards right from the get-go, and gnomes also have a trait called Gnome Cunning, gaining advantage on intelligence, wisdom and charisma saving throws. And just like dwarves, they also have less movement speed because of their smaller legs. They come with 3 different subraces, and their bonuses are quite unique from each other. The first one is the Deep Gnome, which are basically the Drow to elves, since they live underground and also have superior dark vision. Other gnomes have normal dark vision, so this is a strong trait from the start. They also gain advantage on stealth checks and have a +1 bonus to dexterity. This makes them viable for rogues and rangers. Next up is the Forest Gnome, and they also gain a +1 bonus to dexterity and gain the Speak with Animal spell. This makes them viable for the same classes as the Deep Gnomes, but more fun if you like talking to animals, I guess. The last subrace is called the Rock Gnomes. They gain a +1 bonus to Constitution, which is a basically nice secondary bonus for every class. They gain twice their proficiency bonus to history checks and have a small music box that can make, well, music of course. Last but certainly not least are the Halfling race, our other little friends. Halfling are a practical, kind and a curious race. They gain a +2 bonus to their dexterity score, making it a strong race for rogues and rangers. They don't have dark vision, but luckily enough they are lucky, because when you roll a natural 1 you can reroll your dice using the new roll. And just like gnomes and dwarves, they also have less movement speed. The Halfling have 2 different subraces. The first one is the Lightfoot Halfling. They gain a +1 bonus to charisma, which makes them viable for warlocks, sorcerers and bards. And the Lightfoot also gain proficiency in stealth checks. The second subrace is the Strongheart Halfling and gain a +1 bonus to their constitution, which is again a nice secondary bonus for every class. The Strongheart Halfling also have advantage on saving throws against poison and have resistance against poison damage. For the upcoming races we have the Dragonborn and the Half-Orc. Some races get slight changes, so who knows how they are in the full game. But at the moment of making this video, they aren't in the game yet. But to make this video viable for the future when they release, I will cover them as well. Dragonborn gain a +2 bonus to strength and a +1 bonus to charisma, making them viable for fighters, barbarians, warlocks, sorcerers and bards. They also gain a breath weapon attack, which depends on your draconic ancestry, which you can probably choose in game. The Half-Orc are excellent fighters thanks to their +2 bonus to strength and +1 bonus to constitution. So this also makes them very strong fighters and barbarians. They also have dark vision, proficiency in the intimidation skill and 2 other strong bonuses. The first one is called relentless endurance, and when you die you instant won't die and drop to 1 HP instead. But this is only once per long rest. The other trait is called savage attacks, giving you additional damage on critical hit with a melee weapon. Now there are also 2 classes who aren't in the game yet, the Paladin and the Monk. But to make it simple, Paladin needs strength for their main stat and charisma for their secondary stat. And the Monks, they need dexterity for their main stat and wisdom for their secondary stat. So you can choose your race depending on those bonuses that I covered earlier. And if you guys also want a video on which class you should play, let me know as well. But I also want to know, what is your favorite race? Let me know in the comments down below. And if this video was helpful, I would really appreciate a subscribe. Anyway, thanks for watching, subscribe for more Baldur's Gate 3 videos, and I will see you guys next time.